Aphasia. All of us experience slips of tongue, slips of ear. Sometime while speaking, we make a mistake, or sometime when we listen to something, we do not listen it properly. So it's a common phenomenon that takes place in everyday life. However, you just imagine of the people who have this problem, and constantly they are unable to understand what they listen to or what they speak. They have problem in tongue slips and ear slips. So these different types of language disorders generally described as aphasia. So whenever we have these language problems, these language disorders of production of speech or of comprehension of speech, we call that they are aphasias. We can define it, and aphasia is defined as an impairment of language function due to localized brain damage that leads to difficulty in understanding and or producing linguistic form. So this is an impairment of language function due to localized brain damage. A certain part of the brain is damaged, and as a result, whether a person is unable to speak or a person is unable to comprehend. So these are because of the brain damage. So the main cause of aphasia is brain damage. So the most common cause of aphasia is a stroke. So as I said, aphasia is caused by brain damage, and this brain damage is caused by a stroke in which the brain is either the brain waves are blocked or they are burst. So as a result of this blocking of the veins or the blocking of the or the bursting of the nerves, the person is unable to speak or to comprehend anything that he listens. Similarly, there are some other causes as well. For example, other than this is the main cause. So other than the main cause, there can be a traumatic head injury from violence or an accident that may have similar effect. So other than the stroke, there can be a violence, somebody is hit or somebody has an accident. So as a result of these causes, a person develop aphasia. Either he is unable to speak or unable to speak properly or unable to comprehend properly, right? So these are different causes that when a person's as a result of which a person develop aphasia. Those effects can range from mild to severe reduction in the ability to use language. So whether be a stroke or an accident or any violent attack, so they can give a person aphasia that it can range from the mild inability to speak or to understand to severe use or an inability to use language. Someone who is aphasic often has interrelated language problem in that difficulties in understanding can lead to difficulties in production. So in the beginning, it may be one part of maybe production or maybe comprehension, but the aphasias are interrelated, that one affects the other. So as a result, inability to comprehend language ultimately leads to inability to produce language. So aphasias are interrelated. So there can be different type of aphasias. Broca's aphasia, when a person is unable to produce speech and Wernicke's aphasia, when a person is unable to comprehend speech, or conduction aphasia. It is related to the it is related to the combination of the both. The classification of different types of aphasia is usually based on the primary symptoms of someone having difficulties in with language. So what a person develop in the initial stage is basically determined by the by the professional, that what type of aphasia that person has developed, which ultimately result with the effect on other type of aphasia.